Welcome back, everybody, to Quake Pro League, Week 13, the end of the regular season. I am 40Lions, joined by the deadlifting duelist himself, ZSX. And,
Thank you, Daddy Dancing Douchebag.
Why? Oh, there's Wheat.
Oh, well,
There's Wheat. Did you summon him with that, or me? I don't know what was happening. But anyway, we have Wheat here. It's all a mess. It's a train wreck over here, but I hope everyone at home is having a great time. Wheat, glad to have you. Happy Saturday.
Thanks. Yeah, happy Saturday. It's a little weird being here on a Saturday, but that's okay. Glad everyone showed up that could. Thank you so much, and excited for our featured match that we've got today.
Yes,
the
so
one
good.
featured match that we had scheduled today will occur. It is going to be cypher versus k1llsen. And it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath, I would imagine. Cypher's been on a tear. k1llsen, of course, a previous champion. It should be just an absolute slugfest.
Yeah,
they better make up for 2 series worth. This could be good.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So obviously everyone is asking us, what happened to Wenger versus Cooler due to some issues that came up. Unfortunately, the game can't be played today, so it had to be removed from the schedule. I think if you have issue, you should probably reach out to Flea. I think he's in chat. He can probably help you out with that. But it doesn't matter because k1llsen versus cypher, I think is going to be awesome. There's actually some really interesting sort of, based off of how k1llsen performs, it could change the way the rankings are on the EU side. So there's quite a bit going into this match right here. So just to break it down, if k1llsen wins one map, he's likely going to end up the number 1 seed on the EU side. If he will be tied with Wenger. If he wins 2 maps, he will be the number 1 seed.
Yeah, whilst that doesn't really make a huge difference in terms of the bracket, obviously it puts you against a slightly easier opponent moving forward, which is always good. But it's also the ego boost to be sitting at 1 in EU. 40 thoughts?
I mean, being number 1 always matters, Dan. I think playing against the 10th seed or whoever the challenger may be, or the person staying in the league, is going to be huge. So. Yeah, it should be interesting. Going in as number 1 is always going to be the most important to these players, and any advantage you can get, especially, again, going into the finals, is going to be huge. So first round bye, first seed, all that stuff, it all adds up. Again, it's all about endurance and just trying to grind out those matches, and I can't wait to see it, and it all starts with this one. Again, the way that Wheat broke it down, this one shapes out to be a good one between k1llsen and cypher. And cypher's been knocking on the door before. He had a great performance last stage finals, but, can he repeat it? We'll see. This is going to be a decent test for him, I think.
Yeah, cypher has had some interesting interviews, right, where he's sounded very confident, or he is very aware of what he needs to work on. Last week, we asked him, do you feel better than you did during the previous finals? And his answer was actually, no, not necessarily. And I think it's partially just the nature and the flow of Quake. But cypher, I think, is still finding what he needs to find before he heads into the final. So I'm just really excited to see him. I mean, k1llsen's been looking insane lately. Cypher's also been looking good. So I would love for this one to just be bonkers.
It would be great if it can go to 6 maps. Yeah. Dan, sorry.
I agree. I think k1llsen actually got the 1 up on cypher yesterday in the event yesterday. So he statistically on form should be performing slightly better, but I agree with Weed. Like, he's gone from strength to strength, and he's reaching his peak form moving into the finals, which is always pretty scary for a k1llsen point of view. So I feel it always seems a little bit hit and miss during stages leading into the final. I think notoriously he's always been the person to step up on the biggest stage. So again, really good to see what he brings and hopefully showcase his better form. But I think, as you pointed out, he's still looking and adapting and changing. He's never entirely happy with how he stands, which is just incredibly scary considering how well he played in the Stage 2 finals.
Yeah.
Well, I think if we can, let's hop into the pick bands, see the champs, see the maps that we're going to see between these two absolute titans. Molten Falls, Deep Embrace, and Ruins of Sarnath. And Dan, I'll let you take it away on the champs.
Unusual picks to start. We got another Slash coming out. We've seen lots of Slash today, which is a blessing for us. And he's going up against a Nyx. And obviously, I think k1llsen might be the best Nyx in the world. potentially, obviously, Rafa up there as well. So that's interesting. Slash can obviously put on a lot of pressure in and around when the Ghost Walker is not up, and that's why she is so scary. So that's going to be a fascinating encounter, particularly if Cypher's rail begins to connect. Then we move on to Deep Embrace, another light from Cypher's point of view. He first picks the Athena. The range is left out there, and k1llsen actually opts for the Strog. It's a pretty standard pick on Deep. So I guess the question comes down to how well can Cypher play the Athena and how much is k1llsen's rails connecting on that one. And then in the upper ruins, we've got Sorlag versus Ranger. We've seen both these picks. The Ranger can have better control of the major items if he gets into that rhythm, but we know the power of Sorlag and the stack she has to put on the pressure, particularly if he wants to play aggressively.
I like this a lot. I mean, I think the first map's going to be, speedsters. It's going to be great. I'm so excited that we are getting to see more and more Athena in the meta right now. I mean, last week Wenger talked about it a little bit, and he actually credited Rafa as kind of like, after I saw Rafa play, it kind of inspired me to learn a little bit more. So interestingly enough, in last week's matchup, Cypher versus Avik, it wasn't Ruins, but it was Veil. But Cypher was playing Sorlag to Avik's Ranger, and Avik actually just popped off in that matchup. So it's like the tables have turned a bit here. We're putting it on Ruins, but I don't know. Curious to see how that third map will go.
Yeah, I think that Cypher's picks show me he's confident. You have to be in a good place to pick a Slash and an Athena, particularly first picking Athena on Deep. You have a game plan and you're confident in what you want to do. So that should bode well for him. And I just think it has a higher potential in what you can pull out than what k1llsen has. But the way k1llsen plays, that doesn't really matter. He plays stable, he plays a slower pace on the mid ground and relies on his rail a lot more than Cypher does.
I just can't wait to get into this first map. Molten Falls Slash versus Nyx should be fantastic. Taking a quick peek at the predictions in chat, 75% in favor of Cypher, and that is absurd to me.
Wow.
That is so one-sided given the stature of both these players. So people believe in the Cypher. They want to see the return of Cypher, and we'll see if it pops off on Molten.
I'm actually a little surprised by that. I thought it'd at least be more even and maybe even favor k1llsen a little bit, just based off of how k1llsen's been looking. I mean, if we're going to talk about predictions a little bit, I think going into the finals just a few weeks away, there's no better place to be than that number one seed. k1llsen, knowing that he just needs potentially the victory with 2 maps, I think that he is going to, I think we will see top form k1llsen here, because he knows how important that could be to his run in the finals. I mean, Cypher's kind of already in a position where it's like a win or a loss isn't going to do a whole lot in terms of what happens going into the finals. But I'm just going to go ahead and say 2-1 k1llsen.
Yeah, I agree with that. Feels to me that Cypher's just testing a few things out with those picks and really seeing how much it works. Again, off the back of losing to k1llsen yesterday, I'm gonna stick with the 2-1 to k1llsen as well. Slightly more on form, and it means more to him.
I'm just going to be a pain in the ass and say 2-1 Cypher because I believe in the hidden tech that he has. But doesn't matter what I think, so I'm going to excuse myself. Chat, please make room for the Way Warrior and Wholesome Wheat. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Have fun.
Awesome.
It's been a long
I
day.
don't know how you do it.
Sets. Yeah,
I mean, I've been here the whole time, like tuning in, and it's just like, wow. No. Thank you, 40. You're great. Cypher versus k1llsen going into this best of 3. Again, if k1llsen wins the series with 2 maps, he will be the number 1 seed, and he'll put Wenger 1 behind. But if k1llsen goes, I mean, if Cypher were to 3-0 this, or k1llsen loses 1-2, it would be interesting because we will have a tie for that number 1 spot. I'm not sure how that's resolved, but we'll have series and maps literally tied between the 2. So be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, and k1llsen is somebody who doesn't suffer not being number 1, so that would hurt if he ends up not being there. But I think, as we spoke about earlier in the broadcast, he's come off having an eye injury, so to even be competing for number 1, I thought he's more than happy with.
Yeah, I mean, like, k1llsen also has had some incredible performances at the finals in previous, stages and events. you got to imagine that he is hungry for it again, ZSX, and he is right now positioned to be in the best position that he's been in quite some time. So, right, coming off of that injury, as you mentioned, I mean, I've kind of been shocked at how incredible he's been playing. Took him a little bit. He obviously stayed very dedicated, stretched himself up, did what he could, but didn't overdo it. And I'm excited to see if he could take it home to the finals. But Cypher, will he stop him short? We're about to find out.
We will find out. Slash versus Nyx, an older matchup. We've seen this shift ever so slightly since the heavy nerf. The fact that these light champions are becoming a bit more meta now, particularly into QuakeCon, is moving the dynamic slightly. And let's see what Cypher brings to us on the Slash. We know how strong he was on this champion. Haven't seen it in a little bit. And the Nyx from k1llsen is a bit more of a staple of his, but again, hasn't been the massive highlight it used to be just because she's not been played as much.
Yeah, I mean, we almost saw the first engagement happen right there. Cypher, though, throwing out the trail, and that's going to have k1llsen turn around here. k1llsen, I think, is in a good spot with that ghost walk here on Molten. I'd love to see if it comes into play aggressively, right? If there is a moment where maybe Cypher has taken over the spot. But this match so far, starting out a little slow, all the speediness happening for Cypher doing the right. Wow, and then 1-2 rails in a row, and that means I'm going to chase this guy down.
Ooh.
He doesn't get close enough, but lands a third rail, and that immediately puts k1llsen in a danger zone and opens things wide up for Cypher.
And as you said, he's in a good position with the Ghost Walk, hasn't used it yet, but as we used to see in this particular match, but why Slash was always picked as a counter, or generally picked as a counter, is just that speed to keep the pressure onto Nyx. And now this isn't a map where the Ghost Walk is, the double jump is even massively beneficial. You can't get away from Slash that easily. It is quite a flat map with its verticality, so that speed can become very useful.
Yep, and already kind of seeing Cypher put it in practice. Now he's going to put some extra seconds there on the Mega, but the Heavy is not going to be picked up quite yet either, and that's going to make the next cycle very interesting. I do believe Cypher saw just a pixel of his opponent going up that jump pad heading on to the other side, knows that Heavy was taken, but really has no idea. So I think, Cypher knows when Mega is, k1llsen has an idea, and look, Cypher landing based off of like what old timings he had, it wasn't even close. There's another 6 seconds. And that allowed k1llsen to grab that Mega. So we will have a fight here at the Heavy. Heavy goes up right now. Cypher does see it. LG comes out, hits a nice rail as well. Gonna drop down as he goes for it. There's the Ghost Walk coming out. Trail immediately hit, so he cannot be chased as well. But I still think that k1llsen kind of got the better of that one. He's got timings of both of the major items, and Cypher didn't really come out with much there.
No, but having moved the Ghost Walk, you can see he's not even willing to show face now. And
yeah,
I'm loving what I'm seeing from both these players. It shows that these are two players that are playing at the highest level and respect each other, just how back and forth, cat and mouse it is. They're teasing each other out. It's not just one running at the other for a butt buff. It is very strategical, almost old school in its style of play.
Yeah, and we saw that even from the opening seconds as things started very, very slow. Both players showing an immense amount of respect for one another. LG comes out for Cypher as he drills away, but the rail's still hitting on Cypher's side. That will put both of these players down into a position that they do not want to fight given the stacks that they've got, but Heavy's about to spawn. Cypher's right there to pick it up, and he probably going to be able to set up here quite easily for Mega, but having that larger stack, definitely on the hunt for his opponent, slows it down a little bit as he comes in. They're not going to meet quite yet.
Also thinking k1llsen wouldn't be committing for the Mega. He does extend out towards that light, doesn't see it up as well, so should have an idea of the movement patterns and rhythm of k1llsen. And you can see as soon as the Ghost Walk is on cooldown, he just evaporates and will hide until it's back because it's just not worth the risk, particularly against the Slash.
Yeah, I mean, this first frag is going to be so important, especially given the fact that 4 minutes have burned on the 10-minute clock already. Cypher making a little bit more noise as he preps for this mega. k1llsen clearly heard that, put himself in a position, looking for a shot. We'll see Cypher go through the upper telly and now head on over and is in a great spot to control this heavy. He will now be in control of both major items, and this is what Cypher was looking for.
Yeah. He will probably try and work around these lights, put pressure on them, because he knows it's k1llsen's only resource. He's got a big split between both major items, so the game plan can be to overextend, put some pressure onto k1llsen. And he's forced up the Ghost Walk there as he was hiding around to hit a rail, and now Cypher knows he has a window opportunity to really get on top of his opponent for the first time this game.
And this speed comes in huge right here in that window that you're talking about. 20 seconds. Still looking around, though. We'll pick up some more rail. Does find him up top in the heavy room. Lands some tri-bolt, grabs the heavy. And now we'll head on over. 8 seconds until the mega. He's not going to go for it, though. Chasing away, knows exactly where his opponent is. Misses that rail, hits that. Second one, and there is number 2. Can't get number 3, and actually took a fair amount of damage there. A bit surprising, but k1llsen with a good defensive game.
It's the risk you have to take. It's the only window of opportunity he's had in 5.5 minutes, so you have to continue to extend and push, and it's just k1llsen things. Hitting back-to-back rails, as you said, doing a lot of damage, and now it means that push has forced k1llsen into control.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see, as we had a couple rockets hit there. Mega's about to hit. Tri-bolt from Cypher to just try to land any kind of damage. He seems less in the know of where k1llsen is right now. There he gets a peek of him. Doesn't have a shot, but will now be able to head on over to the heavy. Finds his opponent. The LG just a little out of range, but again, Cypher with complete control of both of these major items. And I feel like, Dan, one of these times he's going to be able to catch k1llsen with his pants down, and it's not going to be pretty. But he's got to keep this control.
But he also knows the ever-looming threat. If he makes him slip up, k1llsen is the one player that can punish you over and over again. So he's on the edge of how much he can push this advantage. And he's quite happy at this stage just to continue the rotation and make sure he's 100% safe. It's mentally taxing, but it's what he has to do, because at this stage, this is a match where one frag will settle the game. And even a single rail exchange like that of unreturned damage means he can't really push this mega. You can see a single shot has now changed the dynamic of this game.
That was a good decision there by Cypher, though. He pops his trail and then does get some LG damage. k1llsen still grabs the mega, pops the Ghost Walk to get out of there. It's going to allow Cypher to pick up this heavy. He's got to be careful, though. Does hit some nice tri-bolt. That does open up a potential offensive play here, as he is going to move forward. Rail hit right away, but both players connect. k1llsen is very, very low. Ghost Walk saves him again, but another big window coming out. 7 minutes 44 seconds, still 0-0. It's a pretty wild game, not what I expected.
You could see k1llsen just standing on these corners, on these exits, so he's always got a route out of there. But Cypher knows the window he has. He's also been monitoring the time vials, so knows exactly how much k1llsen has to work with here, and he continues to press on. He knows this is a big window of opportunity. He's caught k1llsen on the low ground. He's going to have to fight this one out, and he just doesn't have the stack.
It was huge. I mean, you saw the decision there by Cypher to go low, and k1llsen was looking high. It allowed Cypher to get some extra LG damage and then clean it up. And now with this speed, holding on to that one frag lead might be an absolute reality. But big rocket from k1llsen follows up with another one. He's going to get out of there. Ghost Walk is popped. Ghost Walk is chasing as well. Cypher somehow gets away, drops down to see if k1llsen is there, and he is not. And Cypher, that was a close one, but he keeps this lead alive. Dropping on the mega. Big rocket, second big rocket, and k1llsen gets it to tie it up 1-1. He almost died, Dan.
Yeah, but look how low he is, and he's still got time before the cooldown is up, and this is exactly why we're just going to see him stick around these choke points, just try and manage Cypher's aggression. Cypher still knows this is a big window to push him, but at 1-1, is it really worth it? He hasn't got the stack of weaponry himself. k1llsen lives to fight another day.
Less than a minute left to go. Mega's picked up by Cypher. k1llsen near the rail, heading over to the heavy. He does have Ghost Walk up, so he's got at least one more pop before the potential sudden death here. I'm not sure that he is necessarily going to go for kill. If it comes, great. Actually, a window opens. He hits some tri-bolt, then a rail. Still 1-1, 20 seconds remaining. The double jump into the rail. Going to try to keep Mega out of his hands. Does hit a nice rocket. The trail comes out. Huge rail. And k1llsen is so low right now.
And this is the reason why he's also being so passive, just because of the disgusting shots that Cypher's hitting time and time again. It's normally k1llsen, the one that's initiating with those shots just like that. Pixel perfect. And what is he meant to do here? He has to play slow, but he also has to find a way to keep presence on the map so Cypher just cannot run as free as he likes.
Yeah, he can't. k1llsen back up to 100 with no armor at all. He does have Ghost Walk ready. Cypher in a great spot is going to be able to easily pick up this heavy. Light picked up by k1llsen. There goes the heavy. Actually, he holds it. He grabs it. Going up the jump pad. Nice rail by k1llsen as he flicks his way to one. He gets hit and then pops the Ghost Walk. That's too bad.
Huge. That's huge. And here it comes to finish the game.
Dang. I mean, that was right. Ghost Walk was popped. He had a decision. He probably went towards the rail. It was the right decision. He landed the shot. Cypher with the narrow victory, 2-1. Wow.
Pretty much the only mistake made all game was just being a split second too greedy to try and hit a rail of his own, and Cypher connects, and it's over. Like, Cypher tracks him perfectly, and GG. What a game.
It was from the start, right? Slow, methodical, strategic. We saw Cypher really try to just claw away at item control. He eventually got it around that 3-4 minute mark, and he really didn't let up from that point. That initial frag came out. k1llsen was able to capitalize, pick that one up, but ultimately it was Cypher who kept his cool and kept control most of that game, Dan, to bring it home 2-1. And that's a nice start there for Cypher.
I was about to say, like, you can tell when Cypher's feeling himself when he's hitting rails. I didn't even expect this 70% rail against a Nyx when Cypher was taking cute angles the entire time. I was
wow,
looking good form going into Quake Pro.
Yeah, taking a look at the major items, you look at Cypher, 17 heavies, 12 megas, 8 megas to 3 heavies for k1llsen. And then even looking at lights, you mentioned this a little bit, is that, you know, if Cypher can do any sort of management and keep that away from k1llsen, it's going to make his job much harder, especially when he's hitting some of those shots. So tail of the tape definitely seen in the item control here, but Cypher takes it, and the rank 5 player in EU is going to potentially try to keep k1llsen from moving away from that number 2 rank, but he has to win 2 more matches to make that happen.
Yeah, and I think many people might look at that match and say, well, why was k1llsen not doing more? I mean, a large part of it is that 70% rail. Every time k1llsen looked out on the map, he was getting hit by a rail, which means he then had to pop a Ghost Walk, which means then he has nothing to work with, and by which point Cypher, with a slash, has swept up the whole map. So he was constantly on the back foot.
Yep, that's absolutely right. And, you know, I think k1llsen did everything he could have done there. I mean, he even brought it back after that first frag got hit. I think it was just unfortunate in those final moments. You mentioned that one rail that kind of put him in a spot where he was starting sudden death with 10 health. Not awesome, right? You especially considering how much control Cypher had. But anyway, game 1 over. Cypher takes it. We're moving on to Deep Embrace, and we have got Cypher on the Athena, and we've got k1llsen on the Strogg. Now, I mean, ZSX, the Athena picks, I'm loving it, especially on Deep Embrace. Some real awesome kind of utility that Athena has, everything from vertical grapples to grabbing momentum to snagging power-ups to getting bounced with a rocket in an awkward way and being able to ground yourself again. I love the fact that we're seeing more Athena in the meta, and I'm excited to see how k1llsen plays his Strog against Cypher's Athena.
Yeah, and if Cypher's reign of terror with the railgun continues, that's when Athena becomes almost overpowered. We saw earlier in the day Base play on the Athena on this particular map, and he gave away too many frags against Razy in the early game just by pushing and overextending on a light champion. And we saw in the previous game that you have to play tactful when you're playing a light, because you need to build your foundation to make those moves, because you are just that much more vulnerable off of the spawn. But if you can do that and you can solidify yourself and get onto the map, the mobility that Athena gives you is just unparalleled. So you become incredibly scary. But k1llsen, obviously, as we saw, is a master at playing positional game and playing around his rail, which will make Cypher's life particularly hard on a map like Deep Embrace.
Completely agree. I mean, Cypher is going to be grabbing that heavy early on, which is not going to be, as helpful as it could be, but puts him in a nice spot here as he sets up in the middle. Both players being very careful, and there that rail comes out first, and k1llsen's like, "Hi, remember me?" We get a grapple up to the top, and actually, well, all right, redirection there. Not sure what exactly he was hoping to do, but ends up in the goalpost, and that was trying to pick up that heavy.
Once again, we do have a relatively slow start. Cypher having to use all of his grapples to get out. No major items up for a while, so Cypher's just going to work his way on the low ground. k1llsen has the advantage in terms of stack, and he doesn't want to open up any rail angles, so that's why he's playing extremely careful. Trying to work out exactly where k1llsen's looking, so he can make his way across to the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, Cypher knows that heavy's going to go up. Oh, that rail looking from k1llsen there. We're going to have the Mega picked up by Cypher, so they're trading items here a little bit. And I mean, this is the slowest Deep Embrace start I've seen in quite some time, Dan. I don't know about you, but I imagine it can't stay this slow all game. But it could. I just don't think it's going to. We do have Peeker come out. Cypher sitting on top of the pillar there near Heavy. k1llsen knows it, looking for a shot, can't find it. Heavy is up. Cypher grabs it. Now Cypher's going to extend himself out. Here's his opponent below him. Knows he just grabbed Mega, and this, maybe it will play, man, as slow as game one.
I imagine it will, unless someone manages to build a fairly substantial lead, which forces a change in tempo. This is exactly how you have to play when you're going up against the best in the world. Someone that is just incredible with a rail and all weaponry. It's all about the initiation damage, and we saw in the last map how a single rail can change the course of entire game at this level, and that's exactly what these players are working at, the level they're at. So they have to avoid any unnecessary damage and try and find a way to catch your opponent off guard.
I mean, this is really interesting because, as you mentioned, they are literally playing two angles right now. And here we go. Big momentum with that hook coming out. Another one to escape away. A lot of LG damage was dished, and we're going to have it a second time. Running out of LG cells, trying to hit that rail. Cannot find it. Cypher very low. k1llsen grabs that heavy and stays alive, but now Cypher is in a rough spot. Single rail will put him down. He's going to grab a little bit more help. He's trying to stay away. And he uses the grapple to try to get some momentum. Not really going to help him right there. k1llsen cleans up an easy frag. There's the rail, and now this is where k1llsen could really turn up the heat.
Yep, and this is where Cypher feels almost imposed to make a difference after making a mistake, and the follow-up is not good from his point of view, and it just goes to show the risk he took in trying to force the initiative, it backfired, and now he finds himself 2 frags down, potentially 3, and without map control. The question is, was it worth it? And this is exactly why he played slow in the first place.
Yeah, the initial kind of run into that area, I think, made a lot of sense. But I think the follow-up after that, like k1llsen was too set up in that position, and I think that's the tough one to tack into, even if you do have grapples. So k1llsen up by 2 now as we're hitting the 4-minute mark of this match in just a few moments, and you can already see k1llsen starting to pick up that pace a little bit, wants to keep that pressure on, looking for an opportunity to force out a mistake from cypher. Cypher's going to hit 2 rails though after he picks up that mega. k1llsen just a little sliver of armor, and he will be backing off a bit and a bit more careful now. Unfortunately, cypher can't hit that rail. That would have been a big one. Heavy's going to be up soon though, and cypher's like, I've got to have this light if I want to even be staying alive.
And the map geometry favors k1llsen's playstyle relative to llsen. The fact that you have that upper mid ground that covers all angles of the map relative to llsen, which is completely open, he can just play a much slower game and peek around corners and do these flick rails just like that. Ooh. So much better on this map, and this is why he's scary and why cypher can't even get up to the mid ground.
Yeah, oh no, oh not good. He does recover a little bit with the shotgun blast to the back. That had to have been a surprise. However, no armor on the stack at all for cypher. And these rails are relentless. They just don't stop. And he picked up the heavy, but does it even matter? It doesn't. k1llsen, knowing that his opponent's on the ropes, hits the shotgun blast for his 3rd frag. And with 5 minutes left to go, unfortunately, cypher not able to connect things here with this Athena so far. Scott still half the game yet to go, but based off of the way that k1llsen is deploying his own strategy, this is going to be a tough one to break through.
He's almost goading cypher into fight, standing out in the open because he knows he's got the stack advantage, the weapon advantage, and cypher is kind of falling for it. It works this time. Question is, can he continue to follow this up? k1llsen does get the spawn by the mega, but doesn't commit for it, plays the safer route, wants to back off for that rail immediately.
Well, on the board is a good place to be, as you know, if he could keep up with these rails and keep trying to open up these doors for him. The pace of this game has just been real interesting, just the way that it's gone back and forth. I love the little long-range, mid-range rail battles that we're having here now. Mega is up. Big opportunity here, potentially. Wow! cypher hitting that fall-away rail. Gonna grapple up to the top. He did grab that mega as well, trying to find his opponent down below. Can't match the same shot that k1llsen made just a few minutes ago, but he has got the position over k1llsen here as the heavy goes back up, and cypher once again finds himself in an area that you know he likes to get to, Dan, and that's in control.
Yep, and here we go. He's going for the conversion. k1llsen doesn't. Ooh, he does actually a fair amount of damage. It looked like he was missing, but does respond. But there we go. cypher knows the limits. He falls back onto the mega, but parity restored in terms of stack, though, because k1llsen's damage was pretty good in the end, and cypher might have to forfeit this heavy armor. k1llsen's got a good position up on the lantern. cypher now has to start from square one.
Oh, oh wow. Those rails are, I think that cypher should have pushed it. His opponent had just a rail and a shoddy, but you know, he couldn't do it. k1llsen looking for the shotgun. He does find it. 2 to 4, and so close. He's got to be low, and he is, but not low enough that cypher's going to be able to convert anything off of the spawn. He's looking for that heavy. It is there. He needs a rail. He's going to find it. His opponent baiting, though, a trap. And will he be able to find a rail himself? cypher can't find it. k1llsen gets away in the murder hole now with this 2-frag lead. He's in a good spot right now, Dan. I think he could play this one, slow it down now. He turned his aggression on when he needed to. He got this lead. And now the onus is on cypher to try to make something work.
Huge rockets to win himself a heavy there. That was a crucial victory. And at this point, he knows how vulnerable he still is in terms of scoreline. The conversion potential on a map like Deep Embrace is really strong. But at the same time, he's now got position and stack and could just play his nice slow start up here on the high ground. Doesn't even commit for the mega. Just wants to get out.
Yeah, big rail coming out here. cypher choosing to go with rockets, and k1llsen easily dodges those. There we see the grapple off to the side. k1llsen is waiting for it. He saw it happen several times before. However, the heavy stolen away, and we get a trade, a suicide. It's going to keep the score the same. That's not what Cypher wanted. That would have been huge if Cypher would have come out of there with the frag, even though he would have been incredibly low. But now k1llsen, he could just back off here. In the next minute, he's going to decide to continue to throw out some damage, and you might as well. When you got the advantage there, takes some as his opponent grapples up to that mid area, but k1llsen's like, cool, you got to come to me. LG's the weapon of choice as the minute warning hits, Dan. And Cypher, does he have what he needs? LG on k1llsen. Cypher very, very low. He's got him run away, and I think k1llsen's got this game.
He also got pretty fortunate to spawn on heavy side of the map because he got both of those health bars that pushed him up into a mega. So that gave him a lot of comfort stack to work with, and now you can see he's back on the mid ground. Cypher's going to have to push it with no time left, and he's just pushing into death at this point unless he pulls out moments of magic, which he just cannot do. And it all comes down to that one push over by the heavy where he overextended, try to force it. And that's what happens against someone like k1llsen. If you don't hit everything, you best bet your bottom dollar k1llsen more.
Yeah, k1llsen definitely had like a download during this game, right? There was a lot of things that Cypher was doing with that Athena that was giving him that advantage early on. k1llsen is like, all right, now that I kind of understand how you are running your routes here, and you know, specifically the grapple from the mid over to the bridge on heavy. I mean, with the one where k1llsen saw it, he literally saw the grapple hook in, backed up, rocketed. There went 120, 140 damage, and there just wasn't much Cypher could do. So yes, you get the mobility. Yes, you can get the momentum, but I think k1llsen slowing it down when he needed to, anticipating when some of those grapples might be coming out, and really took advantage of that, taking the victory over Cypher. And that means that currently Wenger and k1llsen are tied in the rankings. And this game is not only going to determine the series, but the rankings on the EU side. That's an exciting one. We're going to Ruins.
Yeah, there's two really high quality maps, and you can just see the level these guys are playing at now. So Rafa's going to have his work cut out for him at the later stage of the tournament, because, you know, Cypher's technically been sitting at 4th and 5th, and there's other great EU players. We see some really high levels from the rest of NA. I'm unbelievably hyped for QuakeCon now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the way that the games have been the last, I mean, this whole stage, I think we've all just said, people are playing to win right now. And this is going to make for a very, very, very exciting Stage 3 finals. Of course, that's taking place at QuakeCon in a few weeks. It's going to be exciting from the EU side, from the US side. Obviously, Rafa looking for the Quadfather title. You've got so many EU contenders that are looking to snag that belt away. Who knows what's going to happen, but it's going to be exciting.
Just want to point out on this particular game, Cypher, look at that. Cypher has map control, but almost half the damage of k1llsen. And this is what I was talking about in terms of the map geometry and the way that k1llsen just plays that high ground so pristine. Even someone of Cypher's level couldn't find a way with spam or direct shots to get any sort of meaningful damage onto k1llsen. He was always the one taking his initiative, and once k1llsen hits that first rail on you, you have to retreat, because soon enough he might have a second and then you might be dead. And it just keeps you at bay. He holds you off with that, with his big German hands until he's ready to finally finish you off. And you said it couldn't be that slow, but it was that slow the whole game.
It was. I mean, there was those small moments where the explosions happened, usually as a result of another thing happening in the game. But you know, strategy and respect is what I think both of these two players are bringing to the table. And I'm scared of k1llsen's aim. I think k1llsen's scared of Cypher's aim, right? These two players surely respect one another and what they're bringing to the table. I love that it's coming down to this last game in the series. Tied up 1-1. We're going to Ruins. Cypher's going to be on the Ranger, k1llsen on the Sorlag. Last week, Cypher versus Avik. Cypher kind of got schooled there by Avic in the end after 2 really impressive games. And someone in chat earlier was like, right now, Avic is laughing seeing that Ranger pick after what he kind of did. I mean, it was an orb fiesta. It was very, very nice to see. So we'll see what happens on Ruins.
I like Ranger on every map. I think the versatility that champion offers, particularly if there's verticality involved, because the rocket jump passive, you can just do so much creative work with the champion that you just can't make happen on other ones. And as you say, the orbs to finish off opponents, to burst, to distract, it offers a lot, but you have to really push the boundaries with it and take those risks. And if you do that, it does pay back. And it's kind of similar to Athena in that, like, it can pay back if you're really pushing the limit of what the champion can do. Otherwise, it's just a bit meh, and Sorlag is a much safer pick. But I like it no matter what.
Yeah, of course, these two no strangers to this map. And I gotta say, you know, we've seen some pretty incredible rails, but would you agree that k1llsen's rail definitely feels a bit more on fire than Cypher's today?
I mean, it's tit for tat. I thought map 1
Except for that
was,
first, yeah, you're right, you're right.
But map
You're
1,
right.
he was unbelievable. I think map 2, it was more the positioning of k1llsen.
Yeah.
He just controlled that map, and Cypher couldn't touch him. This map is a bit more balanced in that aspect, so it won't be as one-sided.
Well, we're going to find out as we're starting things slow once again. k1llsen in the middle of the map is going to go grab himself a tri-bolt, a rocket launcher, and get ready as we're going to be splitting items here yet again. Heavy's picked up by Cypher. k1llsen on the top level, going to be grabbing this Mega. Actually leaves it up for a little bit like this. You saw Cypher in the back area waiting to see if maybe k1llsen was going to come in. And this is that strategy we were talking about. If they slow the game down, great, they slow it down, but they are definitely looking for openings right now.
Yeah, and we've seen slow series the entire way around. I think this will be slightly faster, as you generally want to be a bit more aggressive on the Sorlag, but still, the level they're playing at, the respect they have for each other, more of the same.
Yeah, the Mega's up again, and I mean, Cypher, if he follows the same story that he's been following the last couple games, he's just looking on how to build up that control meter. Nice rail from down below. A couple rockets from k1llsen do hit. k1llsen without armor is sent over to grab the light, but Cypher not looking super great. He is going to grab that heavy. Is there enough time to go over to the Mega? There is, but he's going to find a k1llsen that he's going to have to go up against. Do that lower teleporter. He's going to make an attack on it. A lot of LG coming out. k1llsen hit some nice shots. He's going to hit Cypher away.
Yeah, and having done that damage, he's now just quite happy to set up camp down in the heavy. He knows there's a big split between the items, and now it's his opportunity just to take it. Great rail by Cypher, but he has to go through the spit. The orb comes out, he misses it, but still, they trade.
What? I can't even believe that k1llsen actually dished out so much damage when he was under 10 health there at the very, very end. But we're tied up 1-1. It's kind of a reset here at this point. Uh-oh, k1llsen dropped down. Not sure he meant to do that. Does get hit with some LG damage. We'll be able to recover, head on over, grab that Mega. He's okay. The armor stack did go to Cypher, as I love these two exchanging more rails like this, doing the ring around the rosy and throwing out shots in these drive-bys. k1llsen, they might switch spots now. k1llsen in position has the heavy, but there's a lot of time between the heavy and the Mega. So k1llsen's going to go in for it, eats one rail, spit comes out. Trying to hit some tri-bolt, knows that it's up, and he's going to do it. He gets hit with the rail, but he grabs both of the major items.
Yeah, now he'll just play for the next heavy and then try and push out. So it's an important time for Cypher to set up on the high ground and try and do some damage on the exit. He won't be able to contest, obviously, but you can see him peeking round. He knows k1llsen will be down there, and that's a great rail. So crucial to hit that type of damage. Otherwise, he's in a world of pain. He's actually stuck here by the light, and k1llsen knows it, but there's another strong rail by Cypher. And once again, the German is repelled. He's got control, but he's eating 2 rails for every pickup. Oh, and he comes in aggressively with the orb.
All right,
Wow.
that was big. That was big. Great orb usage. Was able to take away that mega and needed it, especially right before that fight. Put Cypher into the lead, but only by 1. Wasn't able to convert a frag off of there. And I think that's okay. Cypher's just happy that he was able to come out on top of that. He's got his timings down. He's going to be able to head over, potentially look for another cycle of control. But k1llsen hitting these rails, huge rails coming out. k1llsen very low now. Cypher trying to return the favor, but he's got to run away.
Yep, does keep dishing out the damage with the rail. So I mean, I think he answered your question. He's still firing on all cylinders with that weapon, and now k1llsen doesn't have security of that upper mid grounds. He is forced into these open rail fights, and that's where Cypher's prowess comes to the fore. He wants to push the issue. He's got the orb. You might see it come out again. It does come out again. The spit was just to delay and secure an exit, but Cypher knows he's got k1llsen on the ropes.
And that orb just, kind of intimidation factor a little bit on that one. As look at how heavy the boots are and the steps are of Cypher now versus that first 3 minutes, right? k1llsen actively avoiding, looking for those shots. Cypher asserting himself a little bit more here. Will dodge a little bit of damage. Goes in for that mega. Takes a lot of damage. Even some follow-up right there. Hits a rail, but k1llsen lands one of his own. And he ties it up 2-2 off of the spawn. Cypher is like, what is this spawn? He's going to try to hit the shotgun blast. 2 players very low. He throws out the fake orb, and he stays alive. But
how does he get out of there? I mean, insane from both. You can see the challenge Cypher has to face here. He tries to roundabout to get into the mega, and as soon as he enters, he's met with 200 damage of rockets and spam. And then off the spawn, double rail to the face, but he manages to get out and fight another day. He's regrouping, he's restacking, getting the weapons. But the damage output from k1llsen in the slickest of moments is just absurd.
Wow, k1llsen even shaking his head after that rail hits from Cypher. He's still going to be able to grab that heavy, but still questioning how is Cypher hitting all these great shots. Cypher getting a big amount of LG damage off. k1llsen throws out the spit, but he just wants to reposition to grab the mega. He does so. And we're going to have heavy up in 13, and I might imagine that's where the next battle may take place. k1llsen likes his spots up here on the middle area, dropping down to heavy. And he will grab it.
So the pressure's definitely on Cypher to continue to string together this damage, because you can see the pace k1llsen's setting. If he's striding around the map and Cypher misses a shot, k1llsen runs in and finishes him off. That's the pressure Cypher's playing at now. He's setting up in these choke points just to deal some shit damage as k1llsen moves around. But you feel the pressure and the momentum is firmly with k1llsen.
It is. And I like kind of where he's putting himself now in terms of trying to find those shots. Going to use that momentum with the rocket jump. Finds the opponent in the back. And Cypher gets away yet again. We're going to have a fight here at the mega. And just looking at the control here, k1llsen has definitely turned things around quite a bit since he's been able to get that second frag. Still tied up, though, so he's got to find the opportunity to get a frag. But with the control that he is holding on to, like, k1llsen's stack is beast mode.
Yep, and really synonymous with map 1. This should be a single frag settles this encounter. k1llsen now, with a little bit of mistake, has to forfeit the mega. Backs on round, tries to step a trap for Cypher, but Cypher playing slow, doesn't know exactly where k1llsen is, so will not just jump on in. Too smart for that, and now they do meet down here. Trying to trade rails, neither one hitting. Distraction orb comes out again to secure another rail hit. And we're back to square one, even stacks.
Yeah, and setting up for mega. And I get the impression Cypher, I mean, he doesn't have orb. He doesn't really have a way to attack it. So he backs off just a little bit. Oof, that rail almost hitting. What?
How?
I do not know, but that is sick. Cypher with that drive-by. k1llsen grabbing the mega. Is he going to go down for heavy? Nope, not even going to risk it. But waiting for his opponent at the top of that jump pad. Gosh, these rails are just bonkers.
Oh, this is it. Big opening. He's hit 2 rounds in a row. Might just settle for forcing Cypher off the map and set up a trap elsewhere. He's going back around the long way. But Cypher, once again, is probably just standing in the back area. Doesn't want to move. But so it does mean he has to forfeit both major items. He's got in. Is he mistiming it? Oh, no. He just pick it up. He has to get out, but he's so low. He hits a rail, but he's still not in an advantage position. Another one. Look at him. Can he get away?
Oh, he's going to try. Oh, k1llsen, I think he saw him, heard him go through the telly, went back around, scooped up that light, but he knows wherever Cypher is, he is hurting. Trying to apply those band-aids as quickly as possible. As he drops down, rail connects. k1llsen, though, grabbing that heavy, and k1llsen right now is positioning himself to be in a great spot if this hits sudden death. He has the heavy. He's likely going to pick up this last mega and definitely controlling that top middle area well. So Cypher, 0 armor stack. Uh-oh. Locked on. k1llsen doesn't get an opportunity to fire. There's that mega. 10 seconds to go, and we're going into sudden death. Opening rail.
He's hit 2. How?
It was wild.
But you saw Cypher's pathing there from the light. Even though he doesn't know where k1llsen is, he knows he's working, and he's not going to give him an angle whatsoever.
Oh, yeah. All right. Both players slowing it down big time. As the next frag is everything. 1 frag to determine the series. An exchange of rails. Mega pick back up. We see the gears. Oh, my God! Are you kidding me? Wow.
What a way and what a series to secure yourself as #1 in Europe.
That is smelling blood right there. That was, wait, I hit him with that rail and just devastating 3-2. Great victory from k1llsen. We believe that that will put him at the #1 spot on the EU side. Let's bring back 40. See what he thought about this matchup.
Bonkers,
What's
man.
up, 40?
Bonkers. Like, how fitting, first of all, that set is the last one before the stage finals is like foreshadowing, is like, look at what's upon us, but also how fitting to end the game that way. Like, k1llsen shows up again with rails and seals it. Like, just an incredible series from both players.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen a series like that for quite a while. Like, we've seen maps, but not the whole series where it was incredibly back and forth, could have gone either way, and just the level of strategy and execution from both players was insane. I mean, it feels like a lifetime ago we were watching that k1llsen that ended up at 2-1. It's just, both of these players are in amazing shape now, moving into the finals.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But neither player eclipsed 10 frags on either side, right? Cypher ended up getting 6 total. k1llsen ended up getting 9 across the entire series. Yeah, yeah. It's just super wild. But that series did not disappoint. Very, very good. As I agree with exactly what you both said. What a great matchup to take us into the finals in just a few weeks.
Absolutely fantastic. And, you know, everyone was spamming in the chat during at least that first game, just chess match. And that's really what it was.
Yep.
It was just incredible to watch. And I think we're lucky enough to get a word with k1llsen.
Oh, that was quick. Yo.
k1llsen, what's up? Congratulations.
Oh, sorry.
You're somewhere there.
No, you're great. You're great. That's on me. I can't even do my one job right, k1llsen. You did great. Congratulations.
Yeah, crazy battle, really. Like, just like you said, chess. Like, all I can think about with this matchup, especially because my aim let me down a bit. Like, yeah, and I had to play it another way. But I'm just glad it worked in the end.
Were you expecting to play a little bit slower going into the series with Cypher, or is that just kind of how the match began and then played out?
Yeah, I kind of had to feel out how my aiming is going on today, and yeah, on Molten I felt like, okay, it's not going so well. I have to, come up here with a different strat on the next maps to secure a win, or to have a chance to win, because cypher has just been hitting insane rails all over the 3 maps. And yeah, like I said, like my aim let me down a bit over the past days. Like I had a feeling it's still gonna be the way it is, and yeah, that's why just from the beginning I started more slow than what I usually do.
I mean, we know k1llsen is a man of habits. So talk us through what your strategy over the next couple of weeks is going to be to make sure you're the best form you can be going into the finals.
I mean, that's a good question. I don't even know myself. There's there are a lot of appointments I also have with the next couple of weeks, because we are moving in October. And yeah, there's just a lot of stuff, and trying to manage everything, and also the practice, keep it going, and yeah, just keep it going and mix it a lot. Like play some Americans, play different European styles, and yeah, I just hope it's gonna be enough.
So moving forward, practice obviously is going to be very important. Are you going to stream some of those games? Can people in chat tune in, or are you going to go full, silence mode and keep everything to yourself up until the playoffs?
I mean, I will stream some for sure. Did a lot in the past, and will keep doing so. I guess until up to 1 week or 1.5 before the tournament kicks off. I might stop it, but we will see. Also depends how I feel like that moment. How all the other stuff is done or not, and sometimes gonna be a bit stressful for sure.
Sure, definitely. Moving is always a pain. Trust me, I know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I even have the surgery like in my mind. I have to go on 30th of August, so I'm happy I could move it to after the finals. But aneurysm is getting like threatened. I'm not sure how to exactly call it, but not a fun situation to be in, especially in my age I am. And yeah, I'm just hoping and praying everything goes right, and yeah.
Well,
So are we, man.
Yep.
So are
good
we.
luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, congrats, and again, good luck on the surgery. Wishing you the best, and we will see you in the playoffs, k1llsen. Congrats.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for for having me, and thanks for everything, and see you soon.
You look good, so good luck.
See you soon.
Well, boys, that was a successful Saturday sermon, I'd say.
It's done. Finally.
Dan's like, finally, I got a break from this face. Wheat, any closing thoughts on today and moving into finals?
If that was any indication of the types of games that we're going to see right off of the bat during the QPL Stage 3 finals at QuakeCon, you better believe it's going to be an exciting time. We've been commenting the entire stage that, wow, we've seen so many players leveling up, so many new metas kind of coming in, and we're going to see all of those resolve. So, hey, thanks to everyone who's joined us here on these Sunday and Saturday journeys through the 13 weeks of QPL Stage 3. Can't wait to see you for the finals.
Yeah, man. I mean, we normally go into these finals with a few, maybe 2 or 3 people we would put up there on the Rafa level, but it just feels like there's 7 or 8 now that can take maps off literally anyone. Some of the games, we've seen all spectrums of games really, particularly today, from that level of strategy right through to bloody Maxter hitting 120% rail. I've never seen so much rail in my life. I'm calling Maxter for Stage 3 champion. That's my bet right now. But I mean, yeah, I can't wait for...
Sweet, I'll take that one, by the way. I'll take that one. I'll take it.
You're just such a sellout, dude. But I'm gonna... I gotta go chill and research and be ready, more than ready, and hopefully I can cast with someone else except homeless Sam here on my left.
I'm very flattered that you would even acknowledge me at this point. Yeah, no, it's been a great 13 weeks. Appreciate everyone. It's always a pleasure to cast alongside you, Wheat. Dan, you were here for sure. Chat, thanks for tuning in every Sunday and Saturday. And the players, thank you to the players, production, everybody. But we are done for about 3 weeks. August 19th kicks off the Stage 3 finals. You don't want to miss it. Stay locked on twitter.com/Quake, Quake.pgl esports for the final standings, all the kind of announcements and everything. But we are out. Enjoy the time off, and we will come back better than ever with Stage 3 finals and a whole lot more Quake. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Take care, and we'll see you in 3 weeks.